Tell me, if you want to be fit and have a nice toned body, what do? You probably exercise. You physically move your body every single day, don't you? Well, if you want to be a great manager, it's the same. You have to exercise your leadership muscles every single day. Every opportunity is great to do that, even the least likely ones, such as when you're on vacation. Hi, if you're coming to my channel for the first time, my name is Alena Huberova and I help women to connect with their authentic female power to become the managers they always wish they had. I just came back from Sri Lanka. Yes, I'm the only brown person in the 10-kilometer radius. And let me tell you, I got a brilliant opportunity to exercise my leadership muscles. It's not something that I planned, but Sri Lanka gave me the opportunity. So today I want to share with you some of my experiences, and hopefully these experiences will serve as reminders of some of the critical skills that you need to practice as a leader if you want to make a difference. So here we go. One day I wake up, it's a beautiful sunny day, and my idea is to spend the day visiting the nearby ancient complex. It was like 15 kilometers and there were temples and ancient ruins. It was a large complex. So I rented a bike from my guest house and I rode down to the city. It was a very pleasant downhill ride, and I arrived to the ticket desk. I get my one-day visitor's pass to visit this ancient complex, and then I set off to explore the site. So as soon as I reached the gates, the first gate to enter this complex, I noticed that it's getting dark. I'm like, what's going on? It's 10 o'clock in the morning. So I look up and there is this huge black cloud right above my head. And before I knew it, it started to pour down with rain. It was as if someone was standing there right above my head, pouring a bucket all over me. You know what? I was furious. So I have one single day to explore this huge ancient site. I bought a pretty expensive ticket and it's raining. How dare you, universe? I mean, I could just feel my frustration rising. I was like a big baby having a tantrum. It's raining. It cannot rain. Thankfully, after a little moment, I realized that that's not going to happen. I don't have the powers to stop the rain, and I might as well look for shelter before I get completely soaking wet. So, my friend, I looked for the nearest place to hide, and it was a little eatery. I ended up spending my time eating delicious little bits and pieces and being taught by the locals how to actually eat them with my hands. That's not something that I was used to. And it was brilliant. So the lesson number one is focus on your goals, but be flexible. Don't you find that we sometimes are so stubborn, so rigid about accomplishing our goals, but that can be highly frustrating. The journey to our goals is a journey full of obstacles and full of unexpected things happening, often things that are completely outside of our comfort zone. And some of us, we just bang our head against the wall and we want to push the wall. But no, there are certain things that you can't change. We might as well learn to accept that Sometimes on our journey we have to deviate a little bit. Sometimes we even have to take a few steps back before we get back on that path to accomplishing our goals. So focus on your goal, but be flexible about it. The lesson number 2. My story continues. So I spent about an hour in this eatery whilst it was pouring down with rain. And then when the rain subsided and it was just drizzling a little bit, I thought, well, let's see if I can actually make it to the temples. But I was worried. You see, I had a little rucksack and I carried my iPhone, my fancy little iPhone, with which I'm recording these videos, and I was really worried that it was going to get wet. So I needed a raincoat. I forgot my raincoat back in the guest house. So one of the options was go back to the guest house, riding my bike uphill for 30 minutes, and I didn't quite like that option. So I thought, okay, well, I'm just gonna explore the local market and see if I can get myself a raincoat. So I did, but I very quickly reminded myself that I was in Sri Lanka and they don't use raincoats in there. So I was not going to get a raincoat. What else could I get? I was searching for an umbrella, but umbrella wasn't an option either in this pouring rain. So I was roaming about the market, and then I see a person selling rice. And he had a few very large laminated plastic bags just on the floor next to him. So I thought, that could be a solution to my problem. The question is, are these bags waterproof? And is he willing to sell me some? So I approached the guy and I attempted a little conversation. I took the plastic bag, I pointed to the sky, plastic bag, rain, good, bag, rain, good. I did something like this to try to find out whether the plastic bag is waterproof or not. And the guy is like, so, okay, obviously he didn't understand. So I did the whole procedure again. The bag, rain, rain, good, bag, good, rain, yes. And he goes again. So I'm like, okay, so obviously the bag is not going to withstand this rain, so I will have to look for another solution. So I tell him goodbye, I turn away, and as I'm leaving his place, he grabs me by my hand and he says, Madam, stop, Madam. He takes the plastic bag and he takes a bottle full of water and he pours the bottle of water on that plastic bag, and then rain. So he made me understand that yes, the bag is waterproof and it will be a solution to my problem. So here we've got 2 leadership lessons in one go. The first one, be creative in your problem solving. And the second lesson is never assume. Always verify your understanding. So often in our communication, we interpret what the other says. We make certain assumptions about what the person means to say, but we never validate these assumptions. And that is a problem, because this often leads to misunderstanding. And if you're really unlucky, this leads to conflict. So never assume, always validate your understanding. Since we're talking about communication, here's a lesson number 4. Adjust your communication style. Look, on my first day in Sri Lanka, I go to have a breakfast and I tell the waiter, can I have a cup of coffee with a bit of milk, lukewarm, please? The waiter looks at me briefly, maybe a bit of puzzlement in his eyes, which I didn't notice initially. He rushes off and he comes back with green tea and lemon. Well, okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I think you get the point. Obviously, in that country, English is not their native language. They have a very basic level of English. And so I had to very quickly downgrade my English to make sure that, or rather to increase my chances that I will be understood. What's the moral of the story? Well, in this case, there is a clear communication barrier. But look, even if you share the same language with people, there is often misunderstanding because your communication style is very different from the communication style of the person you're talking with. Just think about this. How many times you ended up frustrated because you didn't get the results that you wanted and expected, and you're saying to yourself, but I told them. How many times do I have to repeat myself before they do what I'm asking them to do? Now, if this is something that happens to you fairly often, then maybe you should ask yourself some questions such as, are you using a communication style or a communication code to make sure they understand you? Are you being direct in making your requests to make sure that people actually get your point? You see, we women, we tend to be much more indirect in our communication than our lovely male counterparts, for instance. And that's why we get so frustrated and so upset, because we assume that people get our message, but they actually don't, because we're not being direct about it. So always adjust your communication style to make sure that people understand you. Lesson number 5, do not make decisions under pressure. So here I am. I've been traveling the entire day by train, and I arrived to this tiny little town very late in the evening, and I'm quite tired. And as soon as I step off the train, I get surrounded by what feels like hundreds of people. Men, women, screaming kids, barking dogs, and everyone is talking to me at the same time. Madame, you from? Where you going? You need hotel? You have hotel? Where is your hotel? You need taxi? You need coconut? Buy my pineapple? Come to my restaurant? And everyone is just talking at the same time, and I get completely crazy. I'm completely outside of my comfort zone. I want to get to my hotel and finally have some rest. And here they are, hundreds of people all over me. So I let myself be persuaded by one of the guys, the tuk-tuk drivers. He says that, I need a tuk-tuk to get to my hotel because it's far away. Yes, far away. If only I took the map, I would have known that the hotel is about 1 block away. Look, it took us like 44 seconds and a half to get there. I could literally walk there within 2 minutes from the train station. And of course, I paid the price. He probably charged me the triple the normal fee, okay? So don't make decisions under pressure. Always try to take some breathing time, some time to gather your thoughts, to reflect. Don't let other people to pressurize you. If you get the chance, sleep on a difficult decision. Just don't make decisions under pressure, because if you do, you know what happens? the decision is based out of fear, and it's never good. It's not good for you, it's not good for the people around you, so don't make decisions under pressure. Lesson number 6. Don't judge a book by its covers. I arrive to the north of the country, to one of the most paradisiac beaches you can imagine, and I was really looking forward to that moment that I get there and I have a lovely stroll and I wade in the water and I just enjoy the sound of the waves crashing onto the shore, and I reflect upon my life and I meditate. I was so looking forward to that, and as I was in this mode, there he was. I see a guy heading in my direction very enthusiastically. Hello, madam. And I'm like, oh my God, do I really need yet another person pestering me and trying to sell me yet another coconut? And I was like, I cannot believe this. And with his smile, he said, hello, madam, you from? Far away. You here? Why here? Beautiful beach. Beach is beautiful. I'm here. I was just very frustrated with this young man, and he was very insistent and very persistent, and he kept asking me questions. And you know what? I quickly realized that he was not there to sell me anything. And we ended up having about 30-minute conversation. And what an experience. This guy happened to be just visiting the town. He was a student of political sciences, just working on one of his exam papers, chilling by the beach. And he started to tell me about his life, and he was telling me about his dreams of becoming a super lieutenant, because that's a nice job to have in Sri Lanka, and he had only 2 years to go before he finished his studies. He was showing me pictures of his girlfriend, who was a medical student, and he was telling me that they already pre-arranged the marriage with their respective parents, and as soon as he would finish his studies, he would marry his girl and he would move into her house, because that's the thing to do in that part of Sri Lanka. And he would just share stories from his life, and then he would ask about my life. It was just such a beautiful interaction. And guess what? At the end of this conversation, he says, Alena, I want to give you a gift. And I'm like, no, come on, I don't need any gifts. And he pulls out his purse and he takes out 2 banknotes and he hands them to me. And I'm like, but you're giving me money. I don't want money. I don't need money. Please, no. And he's like, Alena, please, my gift. It's New Year. I want you to have this. It's my gift. Keep it. Good luck. Good luck for you. You know what? This guy brought me to tears. And I almost sent him away with a kick to his butt. Yeah? So, you know what I think? Oftentimes, we don't give people a chance. We make these quick judgments. We make assumptions about the person, about their intentions, about the situation. We're very quick in doing that, and we're not giving them a chance. And I think that is such a shame, because we're missing on the wonderful opportunities to connect with people on a completely different level, on a more profound level. And we miss We miss the opportunities to learn something new, to enrich our point of view, to enrich our ways of thinking by other perspectives, by people who have got completely different views. So we miss on so many opportunities that really can be life-changing. I'm talking to you about traveling, but think about how much we do that back in the office. We make these snap judgments about specific people. We don't give them a chance. Oh, he is like this, he is like that. I'm not going to waste my time with them. And unfortunately, you know, we often don't look beneath the surface. We don't try to understand where the person is coming from. And that interaction finishes badly, or there is no interaction whatsoever. And that is such a shame. So my friend, let's not judge a book by its covers, because there is so much more than meets the eye. And finally, to finish on a positive note, a leadership lesson number 7, smile goes a long way. So I'm at a train station and I'm trying to get a ticket to my next destination, but the journey is kind of complicated, so I'm kind of dreading how I'm going to get the information. There is one single lonely counter at the whole station, and there is dozens and dozens of people queuing at that counter. So I'm like, oh my God. And I see this man, the person at the counter. He is quite evidently completely pissed off. He looks as if he's ready to skin people alive. So I'm thinking, this is not going to be easy. But anyway, I patiently wait for my turn. And when my turn comes, this little guy, he doesn't even look at me, because he's just so bloody fed up with all the passengers screaming, shouting, asking questions. So I stand there and I say nothing. So after a while, this man doesn't have anything else to do than lift his head. And there I am, and I give him my biggest, my warmest smile, and I'm literally killing him with love. And you know, I see this guy and he's obviously in shock. He would not expect that. So once he gets past this initial shock, this guy ends up giving me so much information. He even gets out of his seat, he talks to his colleague, and he validates some information for me. Amazing. Look, I get it. It is so annoying when we have to deal with gloomy faces, with colleagues that are unfriendly or unhelpful, but you know what? They have their reasons to be gloomy. Don't let that discourage you. Don't get sucked in their energy. Get them into your energy. Give them a smile, even if they don't smile. Show them a sign of appreciation, because look, everyone wants respect. Everyone wants to feel appreciated by the other. And if you give it to them, it's likely that they go out of their way to help you. And the result, you get what you want. But not only that, you bring a smile to someone's face. Maybe you even make their day. And that's worth it. That will make you feel so good. So smile goes a long way. Smile. So here you have it. 7 reminders about leadership. Very simple things that you can practice every single day to be a better manager and to make a difference for you, for your team, for the people around you. Talking of leadership, stay tuned, because SHELeads, my program for women in management, is coming up and I want you to know everything about it. So stay tuned and I will see you in my next video.